With the recent controversial releases of anime games like Bleach Rebirth of Souls and Sparking Zero, it's no wonder people are unsure about pre-ordering games like Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2, which is about to release early access, and people like myself are unsure about pre-ordering or just waiting to see the early reviews. Well, whether you're pre-ordering or waiting, I think you should watch this video. I think you should watch this even before pre-ordering or waiting for any other anime games like My Hero All's Justice. In fact, I might change the title once Demon Slayer is out, and I'll explain why in just a sec. But before I get into all that, make sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button down below. It helps me out immensely. I know I'm a small YouTuber now, but hopefully one day I won't be, and you can say you're an OG on my channel. But with that said, I'm your boy Kaizen, and let's get straight into it. So you're wondering, should you pre-order Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2? And if not, then what? Well, I will admit that while I was skeptical at first, every bit of news we get for this game makes me want to order it, because it seems to be the complete package, to an extent anyway. I mean, I was worried about no DLC and them milking a third game, and I'm still worried about them milking a third game, which I just did a video on. I'll link that at the end. But we are getting a season pass for the movie, as they should have announced ages ago, and we're getting free DLC, that being Muzan. And I would not be surprised if we get more free DLC, since the first game had 6 free DLC characters. I would not be surprised if they add more free DLC as the paid DLC gets announced. But just earlier today, we got more confirmation of stuff that we were worried about for a long time. Not just because the first game was missing it, but its core features that anime games seem to be missing a lot of the time nowadays, especially at launch, which frustrates us the most, because if they're gonna add it anyways, why not add it from launch? You know, I'm looking at you, Bleach Rebirth of Souls and Sparking Zero. The first of those features being ranked mode, because we now have confirmation that the online ranked matches for Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2 will start on August 1st, which is Friday at 9 AM, although I believe that's Japanese time, so you know, search up your local Japanese 9 AM time. And I am reading the announcement, by the way. So yeah, we will have ranked mode, and if you remember with Bleach Rebirth of Souls, but for those of you that don't, the lack of ranked mode was very controversial. I made a video on it, everyone made a video on it, and the worst part was, it was in the game's files. So it's like, if it's there, why not add it to begin with? And then they kind of announced it, but didn't add it until the first DLC had released. And by then, a lot of damage had been done to the game, which is the state that the game is in now, which is, you know, that's another topic. But anyways, back to Demon Slayer. So we have ranked mode. So what? When Sparking Zero was released, we only had ranked and not normal player matches, and that was an issue, even if it had single and DP. Well, we now know that there will be casual matches, which will also start on Friday at midnight. I guess that's JST, Japanese Standard Time. We have online room matches, and while it doesn't say how many people, based on the wording, I'm assuming it's not just like Bleach where you just find a room with one other person. I'm hoping it's full lobbies, but I guess we'll have to wait until we see more confirmation. But just like that, guys, we have 3 of the main features that we were worried about there not being in this game: ranked, regular player match, and lobbies. This means that tournaments can happen. You know, if you keep up with the anime gaming community, there's loads of tournaments on Twitter, Discord, all of that stuff, right? Lobbies will be great for that. In fact, it's a necessity for that. And of course, for those of us who don't want to play sweats, player match is quite necessary, especially for me personally. For me personally, I like to play ranked in fighting games in bursts, and then a lot of the time I just want to chill and play regular matches, you know? I'm guessing a lot of you can relate to that too. And then there's people that just want to play ranked, which I understand also. You want to be competitive, right? Well, you have that in this game from launch, which means it won't dwindle, or at least won't dwindle fast like other games. I'm looking at you, Bleach. So just like that, we have the key features that we really wanted, and that really encourages us to pre-order the game. In fact, I've seen people on Twitter saying that because of this, they're going to pre-order the game. I've even seen YouTubers saying it. But this doesn't mean online is going to be perfect, guys. Or at least we can't say for sure yet. And this is based on issues we've had with other anime games, I believe including Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 1 itself, and CC2 games in general. I mean, even if we put Hinokami Chronicles to the side because it came out in 2021, look at Naruto Storm Connections. It came out in late 2023, right? Bro, the online was so awful you couldn't even add your friends in. And you know how I said you couldn't add your friends into matches? Well, we now know that Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2 is letting you do that. So it does seem like they're learning their lesson about fixing it from launch, because look at Storm Connections, they did fix it, but it was too little, too late. And that does make me think maybe they fixed the netcode as well for this game. But with that said, don't be delusional, don't expect a rollback or anything stupid like that, it's just not gonna happen. But we can at least hope for decent netcode. I mean, anime arena fighters can have decent netcode. Look at the My Hero 1's Justice games. They have great netcode. Now they may not be CC2 games, but hopefully CC2 can like take after them. I mean, they fixed it with Storm connections. I believe they got like a third party something, I don't know, but they fixed it for sure. CC2 does have a track record. I mean, the JoJo game was killed because of the netcode, so I really hope they've learned their lesson really. I mean, they seem to have learned it about, you know, lobbies and stuff, so there is hope, that's for sure. So if you think those key features are enough to pre-order, just keep in mind we don't know about the netcode yet. And if you don't think it's enough to pre-order or you want to wait and see the netcode, well, I got good news for you. The early access is on August 1st, but the game itself technically doesn't release until August 5th, so if you're like me and you're ordering the physical edition, you'll be fine because I'm gonna wait for the day one reviews on August 1st, and if they're good, I'll pre-order the game within 2 days, and then my physical copy will come on August 5th, whenever that is, like I think that's on a Tuesday, and then we're good to go. And the game will still have plenty of life by then if it's actually good, or if it's like Hunter x Hunter, which we don't talk about because it pretty much died on release, then you know you won't have to worry about ordering it, and it will die by August 5th. That's how bad it was, and I'm not exaggerating. Have you seen those Steam numbers? Awful. I know we shouldn't focus on Steam numbers too much, but when they're that bad and the game doesn't have crossplay, it's pretty bad. But I believe this Demon Slayer game is guaranteed to have at least a decent player count on all platforms, especially on console, which most of you, including myself, are ordering it on console. I am unsure about the Switch player base size, but anyways, I digress. Although actually on that topic, if you're on PS5 and I guess PS4 too, I think you'll be fine because PlayStation has the biggest player base for all of these anime games. Second is probably Xbox, but once again, I'm very unsure about Switch. And honestly, Xbox nowadays, the player base is kind of small, so I don't know. But PC, it's tough, but for a game like this, I think the player base should be fine, even on PC. But my point is, if you're on PS5, you'll be good to go. Now, based on that, the new team ultimates, the large number of new characters, the story mode which looks great, and you know, continues from where we left off, from Hinokami Chronicles 1, there's a lot of reasons to pre-order this game. However, I'm still not pre-ordering, and many of you might be, you know, hesitant to pre-order too. And like I said, we can wait a bit. And on the topic of waiting, because if you remember, I did mention at the start of the video, this is also about what you should do if you don't pre-order. Yeah, wait for the day one reviews, but I also want to say something else which is really important. A lot of anime games and games in general release nowadays, and especially in the case of anime games, you gotta remember, everyone is quite hesitant to pre-order anime games at the moment. So the day one numbers might not be as high as you want them to, but if the reviews are good, then people will order the game more and the player base will stay strong. It won't dwindle super fast like some other games, like Sparking Zero. And you also have to remember that the majority of players are on console, especially PlayStation, and not PC. So please don't focus on the Steam charts so much when the game releases and then start doom posting, because once you do that, it creates an unnecessarily bad picture of the game, and then I won't say it will kill the game, but it will ruin the potential growth in the player base and the longevity of the game. I would say just focus on the day one reviews. As long as the player count is at least, you know, respectable, like over 1,000, it should be fine. I mean, Hunter x Hunter had like what, 200, 300? If you got over 1,000, you're good to go. Especially if the player base stays strong, which it will do if the game is actually good. So yeah, my point is, don't focus on Steam numbers once the game releases, especially in early access. Instead, focus on reviews. Now, another reason why you might be like unsure about pre-ordering this game, which I don't want to talk about too much because I just done another video on it, check that out at the end. I feel like they're gonna milk a third game out of the Demon Slayer series, which is very unnecessary because if we're getting characters from the first Infinity Castle movie, there won't be many characters left, and while I haven't read the manga, I'm told it's just fight after fight, and that doesn't leave much content for a story mode in the third game. Also, the fact that this game is releasing on all gen consoles, it is a little concerning because I feel like they're going to release a third game, and part of the marketing will be the fact that it will only be on current gen, like PS5 and Switch 2, and maybe they won't believe in this, you know, I'm not saying they won't believe in longevity for this game, but maybe not to the extent of adding an expansion. But personally, I'm really hoping that they just add a story expansion and a second season pass, but maybe that's just delusional thinking. But if it is delusional, feel free to let me know down below. And since you've watched this far anyway, you clearly like my content, and hit that like button and that subscribe button for more anime game content on Demon Slayer, My Hero All Justice, Sparking Zero, Bleach, and all those kind of games in general. Don't forget to follow my Twitter in the description below. Hit the sub button. I know I'm a small YouTuber now, but hopefully one day I won't be, because I have no plans of stopping content creation, and maybe one day if I'm a big YouTuber, you can say you're an OG on my channel. But with that said, comment down below, check out the videos on screen now, I think you'll like them. I've been your boy Kaizen, and I'll see you in the next one.